Today I'm making this cute headband and it's a beginner friendly tutorial. If you find this tutorial helpful, remember to leave a like or a positive comment to let me know. Remember to check the description box for more information. Thank you so much and let's get started. To begin, make a slip knot and you can do it in any way you prefer. And then chain an even number of chains which is equal to your head circumference, and remember to make it loose. So to chain, yarn over, pull through, yarn over and pull through, and you continue chaining until you have the number of chains that is equal to your head circumference, and remember to make it loose. I meet you back in. So I have my 84 chains, which is an even number of chains. So to begin row 1, skip the first stitch and into the second stitch, place a slip stitch to slip stitch, insert your hook into the chain, yarn over, pull up a loop, and then pull through the loop on your hook. And into the next stitch, you do half double crochet. To do a half double crochet, yarn over, insert your hook into the chain, yarn over, pull up a loop. You have 3 loops, 1, 2, and 3, yarn over and pull through all the 3 loops. And into the next stitch, place a slip stitch. Into the next one, place a half double crochet stitch. So what we'll be doing is alternating between a slip stitch and a half double crochet stitch across the chain. I meet you back in at the end of the row. I'm at the end of the row and I'm left with 3 last stitches since we have a half double crochet as our last stitch. So into the next stitch you place a slip stitch, into the next one a half double crochet, and then the last one we have a slip stitch. So since we started with a slip stitch, we have to end with a slip stitch. And so this is how row 1 looks like. To begin row 2, chain 1 and turn. In this row we'll be working on the back loops. Yeah, this loop, this one. So to begin, since our first stitch is a slip stitch in our first row, so into the second row we'll be placing a slip stitch back loop, and into the next stitch place a half double crochet into the back loop, then a slip stitch into the back loop, half double crochet into the back loop, and continue alternating between a slip stitch and a half double crochet. Row 1 will be your guide. Where there is a half double crochet, you put a half double crochet into the back loop, and when there is a slip stitch, you place a slip stitch back loop on top of it. So continue repeating this pattern until the end of the row. I meet you back in. I'm at the end of row 2 and I'm remaining with 3 last stitches since I've finished with the half double crochet back loop. So into the next stitch place a slip stitch into the back loop, and then a half double crochet into the back loop, and then into the last stitch place a slip stitch into the back loop. Yeah, you can see how the pattern looks like. To begin row 3, chain 1 and turn. In this row we'll be working into the back loops too. So into our first stitch place a slip stitch back loop, followed by half double crochet back loop, then a slip stitch into the back loop, and continue alternating between a slip stitch into the back loop and half double crochet into the back loop into each stitch across. I meet you back in at the end of the row. So I'm at the end of row 3 and I'm left with 2 last stitches. Since my last stitch is a slip stitch, so into the next one, place a half double crochet into the back loop and a slip stitch into the back loop into our last stitch. So row 3 is done and this is how the pattern looks like. So from row 4 to row 15, just chain 1 and turn, then place a slip stitch into the back loop, followed by half double crochet into the back loop. Just alternate between the slip stitch into the back loop and half double crochet back loop into each row. I meet you back in once you have your 15 rows. So I'm done making my 15 rows in total, and this is how it looks like. The pattern is beautiful on both sides. Yeah. Moving into the next step, chain 1 and leave a long tail of yarn. Once you have your tail of yarn you want, cut off the rest of the yarn. And remember to fasten off the yarn. So the next step is that we'll be making the twist part. So what we do is fold the parts into a half like this. Yeah. And you take the other part and fold it into 2 parts. And then what we do, since this one is the tail that we'll be using to weave in our ends, so we sandwich the other part on this side. Just observe what I'm doing. Make sure the parts or the layers are in equal place on the same level. So once you have them on the same level, taking your darning needle, let's sew the parts together. We have 4 parts or layers. So using your darning needle and the tail, we'll be working into the 4 layers. So when you're sewing in the parts, make sure you go into each layer. So just observe how I'm sewing in the parts. I meet you back in once we are done sewing in the parts. So once you're done sewing in the parts together to form a twist, what we do next is weave in our loose ends. You can weave in your loose ends in any way you prefer. I'll meet you back in once you are done weaving in your loose ends. So this is where the magic happens, where we turn the headband into the right side to form the twist. Yeah, just turn it slowly and it will reveal the twist. Yes. So this is how my headband turned out to be like, and if you made one, hope yours turned out to be like this one too. If you like this tutorial, please leave a like and a positive comment down below. Remember to stay safe and happy crocheting.